And we'll give it just a second to make sure that the stream has officially started. It shows that we're going, but I always want to give it a second because there we go. Looks like I'm seeing it on YouTube now. So, hey guys, Michael J. Crawford, the Anti-Trekker here. And yes, I am not making things up. I am actually sitting here with creating detente between the Star Wars and Stargate universes. We have not quite gotten the Star Trek universe in here yet, but we'll work on that in the future. But I have Bernard from The Mandalorian. Say hi to everybody, Bernard.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Nice to meet you all.
And for those of you that don't know who he is, because you don't see him nearly enough in this show, he's the guy in the flashbacks that is The Mandalorian's biological father. So, and I'm hoping you're going to be in season 2.
Of course he will be.
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard. Are you in season 2, or can you talk about it at all? Can't talk about it. All right. So we can't talk about it, but hopefully he's in season 2. And Simone, the wonderful Jafar from SG1, but also, of course, just beauty in general from LA. Welcome, Simone.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, with us is our very own YouTube nerds, Bird O Prey 5 and PJ from Orville Nation. Say hi, guys.
Kapla. Hey guys, I just want to say that for some reason I am under this crap emoji. For some reason he put me here. So
yes.
You got your crap hat on?
Well, you know,
I was looking at all the comments like, what? Okay, all right.
But you know what, PJ? That's actually good luck to get shit on. Oh,
see,
they say that. They say that.
It's okay, Simone. I won't kick you.
That's a PG show.
It's all right.
I've already ruined everything.
No, I said PG-13. You're okay. As long as you don't overdo it.
It's an older 13 turning 14.
Yes. So, Bernard, you are you are currently in Spain, as is PJ from Orville Nation, and I know that you wanted to kind of reach out to people, let them know what was going on there. So, tell us a little bit about. Everybody knows the COVID-19 thing is just going nuts all over the world. So tell us a little bit about how things are going in Spain right now.
Well, it's not pretty. I'm not gonna lie. We are. This is our second week of quarantine. It's not even distancing. It's like we were pretty much, since it all started, forced to a total quarantine. I mean, we haven't had the time to really cope with it properly. Like, I know it's even hard also in the US and now in the UK, but it was all like kind of slower in terms of like what the government was saying or what people should do. A lot of misinformation also. But here it was like just from one day to another, and the figures rising and the infection and all that. And our personality, Spanish, we're very passionate. We try to be very optimistic, and we got a lot of sense of humor, and we're doing our best. But it's hard. It's very hard, and it doesn't seem to get any better. There's a lot of people that are getting out of it, but then the figures are so high of deaths, that it's really, you got to be really, really strong-minded to cope with it. I will say something. If this was fiction, if I was really in The Mandalorian, I would just call my son The Mandalorian and say, can you make all those people please stay home, or can you get rid of this virus? Because he would. The Mandalorian would. It would, but it's not fiction. It's a reality. So I'm just trying to put a bit of sense of humor, but it's very important, I think, with the example of what's happening in Italy and in Spain, and now that it seems like it's moving to the other side of the Atlantic. And God bless America. I love America. I've been for 5 years living there, and my California, Los Angeles has been home for the last 4.5 years, and I feel really sad of what's happening and what's going to happen It's just people please stay home. I'm begging, please stay home. Now that it's really clear that we have to do or not, stay home to not only save yourself, save lives, which is the most important.
Right. And now so you guys are on full like lockdown basically.
Yeah,
And
totally. I mean,
except
we
I
have the
assume you can go out and
essential.
give.
The essential is the essential stuff, which is like to go for food, but not to go shopping 3 or 4 times a week or once a week because we want that bag of chips. No, they are really asking for essentials once a week. Imagine, Or we have dogs. This little fella that I have here, and we got to take the dogs out. But even the parks and the gardens are closed. So even the dogs have had to adapt to the situation. No walks, because we found out that it stays, the virus also stays on the pavements for some hours. And we all want to do exercise. We all going to want the fresh air. And thank God I have a balcony, a nice terrace, but it's, we've been for 2 weeks now, and we have another 2 weeks of confinement, and probably a lot more.
Bernard, in our conversation that we had the other day, I think you and I were in agreement that if we could get the message to people in the UK, the US, anywhere in the world, whatever you guys can do to prevent this, and whatever you guys can collaborate with your community and your government, don't feel like your rights are being taken away because you're asked to stay home. This is a labor of love. We all have older people.
One thing, yes, there's one very important thing. I remember I did a last year, a guy at Anne Frank Theater in Los Angeles. Anne Frank, their family, and 2 other families, they were in real quarantine for 2 years in an apartment that they couldn't go out, not even. At the end, they were taken from the Germans and killed. We don't have that. We're not in that thing. I mean, we have all the technology. We have internet. We have music. We have TV. We have all. We can access it. We can go and buy food. It's a horrible situation, but we can. Staying home, we can save lives, and then helping the community, of course, but not use that as an excuse to just go out.
Yeah.
I feel that as very important. Because obviously, there are neighbors, elderlies, and people that cannot go out because they're alone, they're scared. Of course, that's in the community, and that's happening here. It's been amazing. But if you are going out, make sure that you're wearing gloves. If you don't have them, self-made with trash bags. I don't know how to tell it. It's so important. Masks. I know it's very difficult to find them now, but homemade masks, anything, especially if you're going to gonna take food for someone that cannot go to the grocery store, or those things are essential, because that's the way of not making the virus spread. Because you might feel good and healthy, but you might have it and you don't know it. And we might pass it because we're healthy, and it might be a mild COVID symptoms. But what about the ones that are not so, that other symptoms or other pathologies, and then it just like explodes. It's not only elderly people that are being affected by this. This is something very important that people have to know. Now it's also mature people, not so elderly, even young ones. The young ones, please, are a huge fan base of Star Wars and Stargate. Please be me as Din Djarin's father, as the Mandalorian's father. Be kind. Be be kind to everyone else, meaning don't think only about yourself and just go out because you need some fresh air. You know, because if someone does it, another one does it, and another one doesn't. You know, and we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same situation. Some people have it harder than other ones, but we're all in the same boat, and we're gonna get out of it. But this boat has to sail with everyone together. That's right.
And now I want to direct this to you, Simone, but also Bernard in a second. But one thing that Man of Sand mentioned
That
in
was
the
a long
chat.
speech. I'm sorry, but I had to get it out of my chest.
Oh no! I want to get her 2 cents on this, since she's right in the middle of Los Angeles. Then I want you to, because you're from a Spanish perspective, I'd be interested in the difference. Though, is if we look at, this virus has really impacted people in the food service industry and the hospitality industry, but tell us a little bit about, because you guys are both in the entertainment business, and it seems like while we haven't heard much, we've just heard there's going to be delays and stuff like that. Is Hollywood working right now, Simone? Is there, what's going on?
Well, I do know certain. Sorry, I'm having an echo. I do know certain not actors, writer producers that are still doing Zoom, interviews and conferences with people. There are productions, obviously, that are at a standstill. And sorry, I'm trying to get rid of this echo. And I haven't had much going on. I just got an audition for a 12-page project that will eventually be filming, and I'm actually surprised that they're casting. But other than that, there's nothing going on.
So the studios are kind of waiting and seeing kind of thing.
Yeah, and I bet they're very nervous because that's a lot of money on the line, especially if they were halted mid-show.
Right.
So.
And it's a similar in Spain with that, Bernard.
Especially because now is when it's starting to hit over the U.S.
Yeah.
So
100,000 cases, I think.
Yes, and that how the way this virus acts, the symptoms don't appear until the 10 days or even 2 weeks. So it's all, so it's really crazy. I understand all productions have been stopped. For example, in Spain, and in Europe, it's like everyone's on a standby. And imagine, in New York, the same, or in Broadway, or the studios, everyone is nervous. Everyone is going nuts.
Well, Spain just had 832 deaths in the last 24 hours, I read.
Yes, the highest one in this whole, and still we're talking about the curve and when is it gonna, the peak, they call it, the peak in Spanish, and even though the government is trying to do everything they can, it's very difficult to know when is it gonna get to its highest, because the only thing we know is and that's the great thing, is there's thousands of people that are dying, but there's thousands of people that are recovering.
Right.
But I also read that some people, they were saying in Wuhan, that were positive and then were fine, they got it again.
That's because they relaxed in terms of
they thought they were in the clear?
No, they were, but they let people in again in the borders, which were infected, and those new cases have been of people that were coming from abroad. So now in Japan and China, they just closed totally the country. There's no one. At the moment, there's no one else from other country coming either in or out. It's a jail country now, but it's like that because it's the only way to. And I don't know if that's gonna have to happen in every single country in the world, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how. I know here in Spain we are trying our best to do the lockdown as much as we can, and people are being as strong as they can, and this I have to say there's martial law now. Spain about that.
Mm-hmm.
The police and the army is on it. I mean, they were
But they're being very cool about everything though too. They're being very
yes,
understanding.
I've seen it myself. I mean, it's not that people are. It's not like it was in. I saw images in China, like people jailed and chained. And I really hope that we don't have to get to that. People understand that no, lady, gentlemen, you cannot go to your sister's house because you left your credit card there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can't.
And I know
So
some of this
they are.
some of this may come as kind of a shock to people because they don't realize how hard Spain has been hit. You know, when you look at the worldwide numbers right now, Spain is number 4 in infection, but number 2 as far as fatalities.
I have to say, I think it's more horrible than numbers of deaths, because infections doesn't mean they will not survive.
Right.
It's hard. The numbers of infections are horrible, and that means that a lot has been spread. But there's a hope. The deaths are horrible numbers because you can't get those thousands of people back. Italy is 10,000 now. We are the second one with nearly 6,000. The numbers are just.
Yeah,
because
and if I can add one thing, guys, there's actually more deaths that are being really reported because there's a lot of collateral. There's all the people who are touch and go, and all the people who need medical attention. The strain on the hospitals is so much that there's people getting, being left behind in certain situations, and the toll is much higher actually.
right.
Yeah, it is much higher. The thing is, the government. I mean, this is really a sci-fi, a horrible sci-fi movie that we're living. But the governments are not giving the real numbers, because if not, it's already crazy for us. It's like it's really scary.
Well, and I think we don't even know all the numbers because not everyone can get tested. Not everyone knows they even have it. A lot of people are in denial of their symptoms. There's just so many factors, right?
And also, it's like we don't even the countries with the best medical health, or thank God in Spain, the public health and the private one are amazing. In other countries, we are collapsing. They are collapsing because no country and no government in the world has been prepared for this. I mean, it's a reality. I mean, even with the best hospitals and the numbers of nurses and doctors, it's like not even only in films. Only in films they're prepared. But the reality is that the humanity wasn't prepared for this.
Simone, what you said about denial, one of the most important things, and one of the things that happened in Madrid, was that there was general denial, and people didn't act. They were late in acting, and so that's the one thing that other countries can learn. Don't be in denial.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just denial of your symptoms, but I think a lot of people are just generally defiant, and I've seen. Certain families letting their kids play together still, and we're just still going hiking and we're still doing all these things. And it's like, well, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if you are still congregating with these people, I mean, it is a virus, and I am absolutely treating it as if it is airborne, because you kind of have to, because you don't know if you're stepping out. I'm not even opening my windows in the daytime for fear that someone outside sneezes and then it, floats in or whatever. I mean, I am treating it kind of like a sci-fi, like Walking Dead almost situation, or something like that.
In LA, that the apartments are so close to each other. And I lived in an apartment, and I remember in West Hollywood for 4 years, and our apartments are really, really so close to each other, and 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 it stays. It's not airborne, but it stays in the air for a couple of hours.
Right.
And that's the crazy. That's why the masks are so important, also. And the thing about the denial is that we're all unfortunately we're all in this together.
Yeah, this needs global cooperation.
And if some countries are seeing what is happening in others, it's not like that. Oh, but that's not going to happen to me. Oh, it won't come over here. I've seen and I've seen images of, but not only the States, in the UK, of people flocking to the beaches and to the parks because they think it's a fun. Sorry, I'm not going to. The F word was going to. It's because it's a holiday.
Right.
It's a vacation. No, it's not, guys. It's not. So I'm very worried that some countries are taking measures so slow when they see what's happened in Italy and in Spain and now in France and I'm just for you guys now that if this is the US watching especially or the UK, you've got although the number of infections are rising, you have a lot that you can do by preventing. Preventing is the most important thing. And we all want to go out. We all want this to end, and it's in our hands.
Yeah.
In our hands.
Well, and I think what someone said is better safe than sorry. So even if you wash your hands and you're like, oh, did I really, do it again? Like, there's nothing wrong with taking extra precautions. And yesterday, I'm really trying to limit ever leaving my place, but I had to hand in my tax packet. So even as I went out, I went full mask, hood on. I didn't even want anything on my hair. Gloves, everything. I had it all. And I think it through, okay, when I do this, how do I touch this and where do I da-da-da? And then even keys, phone, everything, alcohol, swabbed, totally disinfected, clothes go right into the wash, every single thing. I am treating it I am absolutely covered in infection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You must take those precautions.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very good. It's very good that we say it.
Yeah.
And it's a pain in the ass. And really, my mom and me were like, every time we have to take the dog out, or every time we have to, it was suffering because the whole process of, it's not only putting your gloves and the mask and going out, is you go out with now the tension that we're not used to. Just going to the supermarket or the grocery store has become like, whew, okay.
Yeah, you're risking your life, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
And then coming out, and then looking at everyone's looking at each other, or are we on the social distance? Are we? But we guys, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's the world we live in now. We gotta get used to it. Cope with it the way you can. Watch Stargate, watch the Mandalorian. We gotta do it and disinfect. It's not only washing.
Yeah.
Well, if ever there was a time for binge watching good TV, this is definitely.
But it's disinfecting and prevention with everything else.
And don't even wear your shoes in the house. Really,
very important.
You must think of every single thing. Just imagine you are covered in virus, and just take extra precautions to keep you and your.
You know what? It's horrible because we do so many things that we don't really know. We touch everything. Human beings, we touch everything, and we don't even realize. And the shoes, for example, me and my mom, we have a pair of shoes that is the ones we only use when we go out. We have them outside the door, and those are the only ones we use. We literally we go from the door, we jump into the shoes.
Well, I'm even finding opening my mail, I have a whole procedure for opening the mail, and it's very tricky because even as I open the mail, you don't know if the mail inside is, you just have to treat it as if everything is.
And disinfect everything, and it will pass. It will, but it's very important that we take these measures that are.
And here's the thing, and I want to point this out because I know some people in the chat are arguing about whether, well, how long does it last in the air? How long does it last on surfaces? Is it really any worse than a cold or a flu? For most people, it's, they say 80% of people that get it, it's not that severe, and that's true. But one thing we got to be careful of, and this is where one of the reasons that I try to be as cautious as I can, is that even though, if you're a relatively young, relatively healthy person, chances are it's not going to kill you. But then you go to the store and you give it to that 85-year-old person in front of you in line who could end up dying. And that's and we want to be very careful of that we don't want to spread this disease.
They don't have to be 85. My mom is 69.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just pulling a number
out
of the hat.
It's like, I mean, and it's not. It's not. This is the bottom line is that we have to learn about this, about not being sick. It's about. It's not about you, us. It's about the others. It's about. Because we can feel healthy, we can have mild symptoms that it might be just like a cold, but you might infect someone that is not his or her immune system is not as strong as yours, and then they go downhill, and they don't have to be 85. Unfortunately, the virus is getting stronger and is affecting also a percentage of people that are not only in the 70s and the 80s.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually I haven't spoken to them because they're sick, but I do know of a couple people, at least in Vancouver, Canada, where I'm originally from, that do have it, that are around our age. And they are saying it is absolutely horrible. It is very painful. Like you feel like someone's just like thumping on your chest, and it is very, very excruciating. And it's sad. It is really scary stuff.
So I think we're getting. I think the whole world knows how you get it, how it's spread. Yeah. There's no margin of error now saying, oh, I didn't know what. No, come on, please, guys. Everyone.
Yeah. Well,
this is the whole world.
Yeah, the most important thing is, and I know this sounds silly because you would think, well, duh, but take your basic precautions, wash your hands, don't invade people's personal space, and just use some common sense. And the problem is that people, if you want to ignore it and you cause this spread, you could be really harming a lot of people, and that's
and you know what, and no one is invincible. That only happens in the movies and in the TV shows. We're human beings, and that's, and no one is invincible. It doesn't matter if you're 20 years old or if you're and you're The Rock. No one's invincible, and we have to think about this is the chance to really think about other people and not just us. The positive thing is that it's making everyone have a worldwide sense of community and solidarity, that we lack now. That we lack, and we still see that we lack. But I think it's our chance. I think the universe is giving us a real chance here.
Bernard, it's almost 8 o'clock here. Does your neighborhood go crazy at 8 o'clock? Like mine?
Oh, yes.
Well, why do neighborhoods go crazy at 8 o'clock in Spain?
At 8 o'clock, since this all started, the real heroes of this situation are doctors and nurses, and not only the people who work on the supermarkets, on the truck drivers that delivering food and everything. Those are our heroes. So we go outside and we clap for them, because
that's cool.
New York City tried that yesterday.
Yeah, they do that in Vancouver, Canada, at 7 p.m. They do that. Yeah.
They're doing it in the UK at 8 p.m. their time, which is at 9 our time. I think it's very important that we're very grateful for all those people that are in the front line, that they don't have a choice and they are doing it because they have to. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just say that all our friends in the healthcare system here, they're already getting infected. All of them. All of them are
half
getting
of
infected. Yeah.
that's another
Yeah.
thing. Half of the I think it was like how many. Well, I don't want to talk about figures, but they're all getting infected, and they are, you know, they just turn their lives in front, for everyone. So it's and the ones in the US are doing it too, and the ones in the UK with the NHS and in Canada, because they it's what they have to do, but they do it because they know they have to try to save lives, and they are getting infected.
Yeah.
So it's so that's why we go out and we clap, and and then we celebrate that it's the amazing job they're doing, and that it's going to be one day less this horrible thing. So,
Now, I do want to say we got a couple of super chats while we were talking, and I just want to say thank you to those. Cedric Taylor put in a couple of bucks saying this is like the movie, and it's Andorian syndrome. I don't think I think you were thinking Andromeda syndrome, but I've never seen that one. Have you guys?
Well, that one you could cure by crying. So
Really?
yeah, it was an easy cure.
Okay.
Deadly if you didn't know the secret.
That's funny because. And then Thomas.
Spoiler. Sorry.
Yeah,
Spoiler.
Thomas puts in $1.99, says Baby Yoda will save us. Now I happen to now I have a Baby Yoda right here, although you can kind of see through him because he's green and I'm in front of a green screen.
oh,
Yeah,
And you painted him yourself?
yes, I did.
oh wow.
This is I made the skull guy. I have a 3D printer that I kind of mess around with.
That's so cool.
And so I know he's a little bit small. I'm sure. What's he about? Did you ever actually get to see the Baby Yoda prop, Bernard?
No, I didn't even know there was a Baby Yoda going on.
Because you probably just got your
Right, because
scenes.
your scenes were all obviously in flashback.
I mean, even when you're filming such huge projects, and Simone, that even though having like guest stars and kind of like cool roles, the information you have is very limited, and you sign the NDAs are like tremendous, and you don't know much.
Well, I was going to ask, did you know, like, did you audition for it, and did you know what you were auditioning for?
That's a story. It's a crazy, amazing story. It's the best story that ever happened to me. I didn't audition.
You didn't?
No.
Wow.
It was one of those things. I was like on hold for like a couple of months. My manager in LA just gave me a call saying, as you know, the casting wants your dramatic reel and know if you're available for this project. Okay. The only information they were giving me is that it's a huge Disney project and it's a Hispanic father. That's all. All right. Okay.
That's all you knew.
Imagine and this was in we filmed in January last year. They called me like in October, November or something like that, and I went through like different processes, but never auditioned. It was like obviously it's flashbacks. There's no lines, but I was going through different selection process, and it seems like casting have been like following. Casting offices, they follow us a lot more than we know. Sometimes casting offices.
When you found out it was Star Wars, what was your reaction?
I mean, it's so funny because I was going on IMDb like we all do. When you're, going forward for a project or something at Disney. Oh, I was even thinking it was another project. I mean, I didn't even know. I was like,
wow.
So when in January, I just come back from Spain actually from Christmas holidays. Told me, hey, you got it. Oh wow, I got. And it's, let me see, because the managers they don't even know. Agents and managers, it's so secretive that they don't even know until they get the call of he's booked.
Yeah.
Because they don't want any leaks or any and when it's a show called The Mandalorian. So we were both like on the phone. We went to IMDb. My manager said, "Holy shit, Star Wars!"
Oh, because I thought they would have had a code name, which typically they do, or they say untitled,
Yeah.
Disney
Oh,
project.
yeah. It
or,
was.
something like that.
At first, it was how was it called? Huckleberry, something like that. It was like a.
Huckleberry.
Yeah, it was a weird name, and then but the show was already on IMDb, so
Yeah.
like the name and stuff. But it was like I just are you? I mean, I went speechless, and then from there it was like call, costume, this that, and what was it gonna be? But I didn't even know. I was finding out information like by the hour, like every
Yeah.
day, and it was incredible, And then when I found out I was going to be the father of of the lady, like in flashbacks, it was like it was so I don't know, it was incredible.
So were you just so nervous? Like nervous, excited? Because if I were you, I would be freaking out, one, that I couldn't scream it to the world because you have an NDA, so you can't talk about it. And then also the night before, I probably wouldn't be able to sleep. And even the day of, I'd be geeking out like crazy. Like, how was that for you?
I was, because we are in an industry in a line of job that every booking is like, oh my God, it's like
they like me. Yeah.
You really celebrate because it's so hard, and we audition hundreds of projects, but this was like I freaked out, but I wasn't really processing it until it got
it's too good to be true, almost, right?
Yeah, I was like, I was thinking, oh, something's gonna happen. It's gonna be canceled or something, because it's not. But then until the filming day, and then until I was there, and I saw everything, I was like, I was excited, but I wasn't really aware of, you know what I mean? It's like, because obviously, we always connected Star Wars to film.
Yes.
So it wasn't that, and we work in TV shows and it's more likely that you're gonna get like something for a TV show, when you're in LA, that for a big studio film. Yeah. So I was like, all right, okay. But then it was when I got there, it was like, that's when I freaked out. I was like,
but Simone, you had to feel a little bit like that when, because when Simone, when you got the role of Kal-El, now Stargate, you came in, I believe it was season 7, right? And you appeared in 6 episodes of the show, so that had to be, I mean, I don't know. I know it's not Star Wars level, but they were an established franchise that you knew had quite a following. How were you feeling when you realized?
Well, at first, though, I only thought I was just going to be in one episode, and then another episode happened, and then another and another. So that was the thing, is I didn't even think they knew what they were going to do, and so I was discovering that I was becoming a recurring role as it was happening. So it was quite a pleasure. Yeah. And then doing conventions, that was a whole other thing. Like I was such a fool. In the very beginning, I would get people from Australia and England and all these countries asking me to please come and do these conventions. And at first I actually said no, because I thought, God, I haven't watched the whole entire series at that time. And, I was like, God, I don't want to be on stage and have people ask me questions I won't know to answer. And so I declined all these conventions. And then later in life, once I did a convention, I was like, this is the best thing ever. The fans are the greatest. I just want to do this all the time. Well, it's so much fun. Like, it's just
pass me the connections.
It's a party. Yeah.
Oh, I think the fans would be very forgiving, because they know for you it's it's not like you live, breathe, eat, sleep SG1 all day long. That you
I'm geeky, but I'm like half geek. I'm not like full geek. You know.
But now, the one thing they would expect you to have an answer for, which is what I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you right now, of course.
All right, no
is
pressure.
who wins in a straight up fight, Jafar or Mandalorian?
I go Mandalorian.
Really? You're going to give
You know what? Like I so was in love because when I had originally met PJ on my interview with Orville Nation, I hadn't seen The Mandalorian, and then I binge watched it, and I was like,
Jafar,
I was like,
Jafar.
yeah. Oh, I just thought you had an English accent.
No,
you know,
I was just
when they
being
put the
stupid.
R at the end of like Jafar. Yeah. Anyway, I loved The Mandalorian, and I was like audibly as I'm watching, I'm like, oh yes, like this is so awesome. And you know, it was one of those like, oh, I was just gonna watch maybe a couple episodes, and then you're like, okay, maybe just 3, oh, maybe just 4, you know, and just keep watching and watching. I just thought it was the coolest, and as I was watching it, I'm like, I am so being. I call him Mandy, even though they call him Mando. I like saying Mandy. I'm like, I'm so being Mandy for Halloween. Yeah.
But that was even happening to me. I mean, I'm in the show, and I was watching the show, and I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing.
Yeah. Well, it hits that spot for all of us, the true Star Wars fans.
Oh my God.
Did you guys see your shows before they premiered?
No.
No.
So you got to watch it the night it was broadcast like everybody else.
Yeah.
By the way, Man of Sand was asking before, and Simone started to ask this question. What are you guys binging right now? Now that you guys are cooped up in your apartments, what are you guys watching?
Who's first?
I'm actually not watching anything because I have been one of those people that has been so busy every single day. And I have so many people inundating me from all over the world, you know, fans and friends and loved ones that are like, hey, what are you doing? I'm so bored. I'm like, oh God, I wish I was bored. I wish I could just be watching, you know, Netflix and chilling. But I have been incredibly busy with other life things. But typically I'm in the middle of watching Peaky Blinders, catching up on that. I am so behind on Westworld. Like it's embarrassing. What else? I don't know. How about you, Bernard?
Well, you know, the problem I think that happens to a lot of people here is that it's difficult to focus sometimes with what's going on, and my favorite part of the other day was always the night when I come and see my TV shows and I binge and I'm having this problem that it's hard to focus sometimes because you know I have to distance myself also from the phone a little bit on social media because Twitter is a bit crazy at times and even Facebook and all that. But and I'm trying to. I love horror and I love zombies and stuff, but I don't think it's the best zombie movie.
Little Resident Evil there.
But I really recommend this one. It's called Kingdom. It's a South Korean TV show about zombies in the 17th century. It's incredible. It's about a virus, of course. So it's like you gotta like, okay, I watched 2 episodes and then enough. And then catching up with The Walking Dead, but then it's so deep at points that it's like, oh, I know I need something more. And I'm going back to Friends.
Yeah, comedy. Yeah, for sure.
I need comedy, man. I need comedy. So and what's best than Friends? Come on, it's like I rewatch the episodes and I keep laughing, even if it makes me laugh for half an hour.
Yeah.
You know, and then I go back to reality. But you know, Peaky Blinders is amazing, by the way.
Oh my God, I love that show. And I'm so impressed that Stephen Knight just writes the whole thing. Yeah, he's amazing. In the way of comedy, I did start watching that Jeff Goldblum
Oh, the World According
show.
to Goldblum.
Yeah, because he's
Love
so
that show.
funny.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, so we're gonna talk about swimming pools. Yeah, he's just like so odd.
I just think he's high all the time.
Exactly.
Like,
Yes.
but he's just such a wonderful spirit.
I
Yeah.
think that you could drain Jeff Goldblum's blood and dry it up and sell it as a hallucinogenic. I'm absolutely convinced of that.
We
Now,
need a lot of Jeff Goldblums in the world, yeah.
my good friend Life with Matthew has an interesting question for you both. So put it up on the screen. What is the most absurd set experience? Not necessarily on Stargate or Mandalorian, but just the craziest thing you've seen happen on set. So Bernard, we'll start with you.
And Bernard, before you answer that question, can you just let people know some of your other work?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Just let people know about your.
Well, right now, because I'm from Spain, Spanish. There's a show on Netflix, not in the U.S. I think, but all over the rest of the world, which is Betty in New York. It's the Telemundo, the Spanish version of Ugly Betty, and I have a role there, like a big role, and it's very funny. Also, it's comedy. It's beautiful. I worked on The Last Ship also. That was incredible to work on that show also. And on Jane the Virgin. That was hilarious.
And you know, Bernard, I gotta point out.
Huh?
I gotta point out you were on two incredibly morbid countdown shows. One, 50 Ways to Kill Your Lover, in which you played Buttered to death.
Oh my
And-
god!
You got buttered to death?
Thank you for reminding me, because that's the most absurd experience I've had on a set.
And you were also in Doomsday, 10 Ways the World Will End,
God.
as the Italian man from Rogue Planet.
Yes, and it's happening now. But the 50 Ways to Kill. Oh, it was called. Actually, that was funny. That was the last gig I did in London before, because I lived in London for 7 years before I moved to LA, and they filmed the production company was the UK, but the show was for the US, and it was 50 Ways to Kill Your Lover. It was called, and then it was husband, and this was this Italian couple that they want to get rid of the lady's husband, and they, in an argument, they tie him up and stuff, and the only way they think about murdering him is to get a piece of butter, like a brick of butter, because it seems like in that part of Italy they have a lot of butter, and to choke him down with the butter. I mean, the most sinister and creepy way of the. And I had to do that, and that was like, when I was doing it, I was starting to not laugh, because imagine, I mean, it's like, only thing about the death of that guy must have been horrendous, but it was like when we were filming it, and because there had to be like a lot of foam coming out, and the reality is that we were putting in butter, the other actor in his mouth, and there wasn't any foam coming out. It was just the butter spreading all over his face,
So you buttered someone to death.
Not my best CV gig, but the most absurd, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness.
So now everybody's going to try to find that scene now that we've talked about
Oh
that.
no, please don't.
And Simone, what's the craziest thing you've experienced on
Oh, there are so many, but I'm not going to tell them all. But one that is kind of funny was so a few years ago I was in a mockumentary movie called The Delicate Art of Parking, and it like won best film from Canada that year. And so when I auditioned, the role was written as, kind of like a ditzy blonde. And I thought, okay, well, one, I'm not blonde, and two, like that's a little stereotypical, so maybe we could do better. So I went in and I did my own version of this character. And so she kind of talked like this, and she kind of was, based on a character that I had seen in a movie once. And so I just kind of like did this whole thing with this girl. And when I auditioned, the director was in the room, and oh, wow, that was very fast. Anyway, so the director was in the room and you could see him going like, what the hell is she doing? She's like doing something very strange. But then he kind of like, you could see him register like, oh my God, this is really funny actually. And he leaned in and he was like, wow, this is great. That was not me in the, but anyway, so they rewrote the whole script to cater to what I was doing. And so one of the, and I had a jam session with the writer director talking about like, okay, let's make this character really fun. And I said, oh, she should be like a dog walker. That would be really fun. So anyway, the funny scene was they had a real Chihuahua, and in one scene, it's like as if they're interviewing me, and this dog in real life is just licking my face as I'm talking, and I'm talking to the camera and doing this whole thing, and the dog just had the worst breath ever. And I just like, but I'm like pretending as if it's no big deal, but the whole time I'm like, oh my God, this like dog. Oh, so that was pretty gross. And I had to wash my face 3 times after. But on Stargate, I've told this story before. Chris Judge and I were doing the High Council scenes, and it was really hot where we were filming because our studio was like a tin box, and it was summertime. And then with all the torches and all the lights, it was really, really hot. And so wardrobe had told us, because you're wearing these heavy robes, probably don't wear too much underneath. So Chris Judge was just in his underwear and would flash me his underwear in between takes, like, hey, Simone, like as a joke, not in a Me Too way. But so that was pretty funny and ridiculous. Yeah, but there's so many bizarre stories. Yeah. The other bad one, I remember I had an audition, and it was for an ad. And I think it was a jeans ad or something like that. And they said, oh, don't worry, we'll tell you what we're going to ask you to do when you get in the room. It's like, okay. So you get in the room, and there's like a panel of people sitting there. And they said, okay, Simone, can you just turn around and just bend over really slowly?
Oh, God.
And I was like, you gotta be kidding me right now. But you kind of have no choice but to do it. So I turn around and then I do it, and I'm just like, this is the worst. Like, what?
I mean, obviously that's why they didn't tell you before.
Yeah, I mean, that would not happen these days, but
Oh God.
Yeah.
I think the most absurd auditions are always, I've been for commercials. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the most hilarious ones that you do, because like, who does these things? It's like,
yeah.
But hey, it's another side of our job, and we gotta do it.
So Vile Mike is asking for a free plug for his online store. So and Vile Mike is a good friend of the channel here. So I will ask you guys if you want to. You don't have to, of course. But what he would like is obviously for Menard, for you to say that avoid the super battle droids, but not super deals at SD Game Swap.
Oh wow!
Let me see if I can.
No, I'm confused. What does he mean by plug for the store?
So Vile Mike is, and like I say, he's a good friend of mine on the channel. He actually sells all sorts of nerdy trinkets and stuff like that on eBay. And so, you name it, Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, SG1, all sorts of stuff that he sells on there. And his daughter also has like her own little store that he does there. And he also has a YouTube channel called Vile Mike. And so basically, he wants you to say, avoid the battle droids and get super deals. Wow. Vile Mike, you are so horrible.
That's why he's called Vile Mike.
That's
Can't
true.
blame the guy.
Avoid super battle droids, but not the super deals at SD Game Swap. Oh my God, that's a hard one. Talking about lines that we have for commercials. Well, on camera?
Yeah, you got it right there for you, and then we'll let him crop it out however he wants.
All right, 1, 2, let's do this. Now that we're in it, and then I'm gonna be 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna have to leave. Oh, I got what's the Was the lines? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Avoid super battle droids, but not the super deals at SD GameSwap.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, Simone, now you're up. So
Your turn. Your turn.
Jafar, buy at SD GameSwap. Cree.
there you go. Look at that.
Oh, that was
All the
good.
awesome advertising. Thank you. And look, for all that for $5. Dang, now that's
I
a
know
deal.
that is a steal,
Not
What a
exactly
deal.
scale.
especially during the pandemic depression.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, of course, you never know, and if things keep going the way they are, in a few years, $5 is going to buy you like what, a gumball maybe? So, oh yeah,
We
so
will
then,
end up. That money as we know it won't exist anymore. Probably.
now one other thing, so this is important here. So we'll get Bernard up here because you are, of course, the Mandalorian's father, the
Don't
pillar
do
of
it.
righteousness.
Don't
so
do
you
it.
have to say death to Karoga.
All right.
You don't even ask what Karoga is?
Shut up, Bird. Don't
What
ruin
is it? Does it matter?
Karoga is a evil dictatorship run by the evil dictator Bird of Prey 5.
That
Okay.
is complete bull crap.
All right. I don't want to get into these conversations. So what was the line again?
Death to Karoga.
All right. I won't get in trouble for this, right?
No, you will not.
Wink, wink. No, I'm just kidding.
What happened? Did he just disappear on us? I think.
I see the Karogan security forces have taken care of this situation.
Oh, I see. So Bird did something. And Orville, you're muted.
I got rid of him for you, Bird.
Thank you.
How did that
El
happen?
Karoga.
Hopefully
I'm just
he
kidding.
gets back in here. Yeah, see, that Bird is the dictator of Karoga, Simone. So he has eliminated our good friend Bernard. Look at that. He actually censored Bernard. Just crazy. And Simone's like, wait, what?
I had nothing to do with this. I don't know how it happened.
Bring Bernard back.
I'm just saying
Oh,
that
and he's backstage. Let's see. Bernard, you survived.
Oh,
Yes.
hey,
Yes. Sorry.
don't give me the top corner.
now Simone.
I
don't know what
demand a shift.
Sorry. Say that. I need a line, please. Line
Yes.
again.
Death to Karoga.
Okay. Death to Karoga.
See, that's good. You had feeling, you had passion, and he went backstage again. There we go.
No.
I don't know.
Ow!
Is
You,
there-
you can put me where Simone is if you want.
how do you do that? I've never,
Why don't you put Bird of Prey there?
Is there a way to rotate him
I'll
around?
drop out and then I'll come back in, and then I'll
Well, let's
get.
see if we go.
third
Hold on, I just
position.
put there.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh God. But I'm moving ever slightly so close to it now. I'm not
yeah,
happy
we're gonna push you a little closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the funny
Bye.
thing about now that symbol, and by the way, Death by Rabies, thank you, puts a $3 fist bump in there. Thank you, my friend. So that turd, I'm going to bring it up on my screen there. So that turd
God.
right there is my son's interpretation of my face.
You know what? Funny that you say that, but I actually realized that he had like specs, and I and I looked at you and was like,
It is,
Goatee.
yeah, that's my face as a poop emoji. That's actually the avatar for my channel, for my YouTube channel. So,
Oh wow.
and I'll
Big
tell you
fan.
where, and I think you'll appreciate this, even though it's a turd emoji and floating right above Orville Nation's head and everything. It actually has a deeper symbolism, and the idea is that, like, as nerds, and you guys know, especially in recent years, there's been a lot of divisiveness in the fan community and stuff over various things, and we're not going to get into the details of that, but the idea of the turd emoji there is that we can argue, we can fight, and all that, but no matter what, you may be a piece of crap, but so am I. We are both just people. We don't need to hate on each other. We don't need to, turn everything political and all that. And just we can have a conversation about these things, and that's the idea behind it. It's not, it's not taking one side or another. It's just saying, you know what, no matter how much we argue, we're both human beings, and the information we're traveling is a lateral move.
And he does like Star Trek.
Yes.
That's getting kind of difficult these times lately on social media.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. People get so hateful. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter about the topic. I mean, yeah, it can be the nerdy stuff that's come up recently in some circles. But, look at politics these days and compare it to the way politics was 20 years ago. And it's turned from almost a friendly rivalry to straight up hate, And
that's why I don't engage in politics on social.
The problem is the big problem with all this is that the situation we're in now, this pandemic, is making all the politics just crumble down. And it doesn't matter from which party or which, if you're left, if you're right, if you're a Democrat, if you're it's all like.
And that's it. We are all on this boat together, so we need to work together to get through this current situation.
Yes, we do.
And of course, T-Berg puts $5 Canadian in to say, "Alpacans resistance unite, down with Kurdistani tyranny and Karogan dictatorship." So, speaking of politics, trying to insert the evil alpaca. Actually, the alpacans aren't evil. They're just alpacans. You know what an alpaca is, right? Kind of like a llama.
Yeah.
Like yeah. They're cute. Yeah.
Yeah. Bird for some reason couldn't tell the difference between an alpaca and a turkey. Was it Bird?
It was an emu and a turkey.
Oh, an emu. Then how did it turn into alpacas?
Because then I confused emu with llama.
But you're still not alpaca. How did this whole thing
The alpacas had nothing to do with me not being able to tell a emu from a turkey / llama.
You know what I'll say, Bird of Prey 5?
Yeah.
I was told once that when you go to those Renaissance fairs and you get the turkey leg, that sometimes it's actually an emu leg. And that's why it's so big.
That would make sense. Although I think emus probably cost too much to I don't know, to sell for food.
Emus are big, right?
Emus are huge.
They're huge, yeah. Like ostriches are ostriches are super tall. Like
you don't want to mess.
Simone is right about that, though.
Thank you.
I think you're right, Simone. Yeah.
Is and by the way, Vile Mike throws in another super chat just saying thank you to Bernard and Simone for being so cool. Yeah, absolutely, and I appreciate that too. And I know Vile is gonna love using that clip to brag to everybody about how awesome his eBay store is, because even though neither of you have ever bought anything there, he's gonna probably pretend you have.
Awesome.
No, you guys, and don't worry, Vile is a good guy. He's not gonna, do anything too horrible or vile, like his name. So, have you ever eaten emu or ostrich?
No.
What's the weirdest thing you've eaten?
Oh, there's a good
I've
question.
had ostrich eggs. I think I remember. Or no, ostrich eggs. No. Those are huge. What's the weirdest thing? I mean, I'm not too much of a very eating weird things or animal. I think that's the last thing everyone want to do now. But weird. Well, in like snails, and I said it's just not right. It's like and the taste is like, this is like seafood, but it's with the shell and everything. I don't know. It's like snails, like proper snails.
Yeah. I had snails once,
and it's something that we eat a lot.
I can't do it.
No.
It smells good when you go to Europe and they have all the garlic, because it's just really a vehicle for garlic. But
but no.
But no.
I've become very, very you know, I'm hardly eating any meat lately. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I just, you know, pasta. Pasta is my thing. I know that's not weird, but I'm not a weird person in that sense. I,
So Vile Mike's eating rattlesnake that he killed
Ooh.
himself.
oh no.
Oh,
No.
wow. Gangster.
Oh god. Good.
Yeah, what he didn't tell you is he actually bit the head off and chewed it live. You know,
Ozzy Osbourne style.
No, I had snails once. I did actually have grasshoppers once. They're actually not bad if they're salted and everything.
Salted.
Yeah, you'd be
God.
surprised. They taste. They're like in Mexico. They're like a snack food. You know, getting like crickets, roasted crickets,
Yeah.
and they're actually really good.
I was
Yeah,
served
sticks and
foie
stuff,
gras.
you know.
I was
What-
served foie gras once. It did not go well.
I'm feeling weird in my stomach, right?
Wow.
So they're
So, oh, I was going to ask Bernard, did you get
Yeah.
any crew gift or swag or, you know, free entry to Disneyland for the rest of your life? Like, what is it like for you having been on The Mandalorian?
I'm gonna look at you in the eyes on this one.
Oh, wow. Oh, did you get to go to any Mandalorian wrap parties or red carpet events or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
they didn't invite you to the red carpet or anything.
No, and when it was the launch event in LA, they made it very small.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how it works, you know, with the publicists and all that, and
Yeah.
we tried. Me and funny enough, the little boy, the interviewing the little kid, which I'm sending you a big hug and kiss from here. We become like really close. Aiden Bertola, and we talk every day, literally. I mean, and
And your son, I love that.
yeah, and he was we can't wait to see each other again. We don't know what's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen, but he was invited to the premiere. I think it was a good move also in terms of like publicity and all that because of the first season. But it was Disney was very strict on in terms of like who was invited, not even like actors that had like bigger roles. I mean, you know, guest stars and they weren't invited. So
Right.
and then I was gonna because the launch was gonna be now the 24th in London for Europe, and I was gonna try my agent and the publicist to because it kind of like be easier because I'm from Spain and half British and all that, but all this happened. The world changed suddenly, and all launches were just you know, we were all stoned and stuff. So anyway, but we're all very happy that it's been so successful now in Europe. Although people have watched it, but some people hadn't. A lot of people hadn't because they couldn't. I mean, Disney Plus was only available in the U.S. So and now there's there's another channel in Spain, for example. They have this. I think they're doing it with other countries. Like the first 2 episodes, they were showing the first 2 episodes in the network channels in Europe, and then to give people the, you know, like the fix. And then Disney Plus is launched, and then it's gonna go to other channels.
Yeah.
So residuals, hello.
Although that seems
We're gonna
wrong
need
to
them.
invite the
We're
kid,
gonna
but
need
not
them.
you.
We're gonna need them. Actors, we're gonna now. I think it's a moment now. Now we're gonna have to like be waiting for our residuals like crazy,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't know about you, Simone, but you know, right? Just I was lucky because just literally before the lockdown in Spain, I booked. They got me for a huge campaign for Heineken, in
Oh,
in
nice.
Hollywood for 3 days, yeah, for 4 days,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. Then I came back and boom,
Yeah.
lockdown. But at least I had to do that. But then I was already like as my availability for another project for a TV show for a period TV show filmed here in Europe, like set in the Holy Wars and in the Middle Ages and all that. Amazing, and
Mm-hmm.
that's so
Well, I was
like,
cast as a lead in a documentary film about me and my family going, because my mother is Chinese, so I'm half Chinese.
oh,
We were supposed to go to China to film
mm,
me going back to my ancestors' roots in
oh
April,
wow, oh
like
wow,
next month.
yeah.
That's
So
not
And I
gonna
that
was, and
happen.
is not happening. And
I was,
so, that was on my calendar this year. And
yeah, I was
it's
supposed to be
pretty.
coming to LA in April. Not
What's that?
happening. I was
Yeah.
supposed to be coming to LA in April. Not happening.
Oh, wow.
So, Simone, Vile
So,
has an interesting question for you.
Yeah.
Which is, what do you think happened to your character after the series ended in Stargate? So,
Oh, well, I know that because the last episode you saw me in what was it, season 9? Season 9. I was brainwashed, and I do believe that she got out of the brainwashing. And I don't know. I mean, I would love to see a new series in canonized series, I guess, where I don't know. I think I'd like to go back to the warrior outfit.
mhm.
so amazing. Well,
Yeah.
question: where's that filmed? Is it in Canada? Do you film
Yeah,
it in Canada?
in Vancouver,
Yeah.
Canada, where I'm originally from.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which is why
Oh, I was going to ask you the same thing. Where was Mandalorian filmed in the world?
Los Angeles. You
Really?
wouldn't think it. Yeah, it's all. I think it's out there. And Manhattan Beach Studios.
Well, Mandalorian has kind of a desert motif to it too, and then
Yeah.
the LA area is great for that. So,
It's all
What?
studio.
By the way, Anti-Trekker, to your original question before about productions that I think you asked from the chat, a couple of big productions have told us that they're officially not working, but they have people like on set, like, building sets and stuff, and in small numbers. They're inching forward on stuff.
Yeah, well, there has to be some kind of. I mean, even though obviously what's gonna affect the whole world and Hollywood and the studios and everything, especially because it's coming later, everything over there. But there has to be a sense of like, it's not going to be the end of the world, because if not, I mean,
Absolutely.
We're like on a hiatus, and in some months we'll go back. You have to think that way, because if not, we can just say, "Hey, it was nice living in this world. Bye."
Well, I tend to look at it the way that I don't know if you're fans of the Marvel movies at all, but in the first Avengers movie, Nick Fury has a great line, which is, "Until this world ends, I'm going to assume it intends to keep spinning," and that's kind of, I know I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but basically, yeah, if the world ends, the world ends. Until that point, I'm going to live as if the world is going to continue.
What we have to think about, and it's not being positive. I was talking this with my mom, and not to go too deep on it, but the things are not going to be the same as before. That's something that
I think it's going to take a long time, sadly.
It's going to take a long time. I think this year is going to be of changes, of adapting. First of all, of getting rid of containing this and getting rid of it. And it's not going to happen in 2 hours and a half like in a movie. By the way, the film Contagion is, I mean, it's so, I don't know who wrote the film, but it's so what we live in, and it's scary because it's just like, how the hell could they know? But things are not going to be the same. I mean, for many reasons, and the sooner we try to adapt to that, every day at a time. I think that's the most important thing. It'll be better. I'm gonna say just one last thing, and I'm gonna have to like leave in like a little bit. Is that I feel blessed because I'm with my mom, you
Mm.
know, and with family. I'm with my mother, and to all of the people out there who this has hit them and they're not their families, you know, my heart goes to you, and because I was so worried about not being in LA because of work. I have to come here and be here. And now I'm giving God thanks because I'm here with my mom, you know, and we are together and I'm with family, and I'm safe, that I'm home, that I have everything that I need, that I have
Mhm.
food on my plate, and that, you know, and I have.
And
Look
you're
at
on the
all of this.
Mandalorian.
Yeah,
All right,
you're in
okay,
freaking Star
yeah,
Wars. Come
Your
on.
life is made.
yeah,
You know,
okay,
you've ticked that
okay, yes.
box.
Okay, that box is ticked.
Yeah.
Will it ever happen again? I don't know, but at least a dream come true that I never thought that was gonna happen.
That is a
Let me
dream.
just say that a lot of the fans think that you're dead. That's all I'm going to say.
No.
Well, and
I
I'm
don't
not
think
surprised.
it was, but
I'm not surprised. I mean, they it's a bit confusing because that's what they showed, but they didn't really see us. They didn't show us there. But then it's implied. But they made such, you know, they could have just done like one flashback and that's it. But they extended. Like it was very clever. You know, in the first episode, third episode, and then on the last one,
Mhm.
which was great for the characters and everything. But I hope I'm not. I know I'm not. So
And I
don't worry
just
about
have
it.
to say that your work on the show was so beautiful. It was really,
Okay.
really touching. That moment where you have that look on your face of seeing your son for the last time is just, you know, or could
That's
be the last time, right?
yeah, it brings a tear to everybody, really.
Yeah.
That's your
So
role may have
moving.
been, yeah, your
Cheered
role was
me.
brief, and you know, like you didn't have any lines to speak
Yeah.
of, but people remember you. You really did make an
Yeah.
emotional connection there.
You know, I'm blessed because I'm not gonna lie, it was very intense filming. It was physically very hard because you have to be for like 16 hours, like carrying the child, and you know, Simone is like from every single angle,
Well, and there's
it was.
explosions and dust and, you know, like
I
all of
mean, so that was the surreal thing. There were real explosions
Yeah,
everywhere.
you were carrying him half the time, right? When you were
all the
filming.
time.
yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
Actually,
except
that
for
was
that
one of
one
the
shot
questions.
where he's in the actual bunker. Really, you're the whole
Yeah,
time you're
yeah,
carrying
yeah.
him.
And then when we closed the bunker and all that, but that was, and also working with Aiden was so beautiful. You know, this child that he's amazing. But it was very intense, and we had to save a lot of energy, you know, in between takes and everything because everything was so intense, and that last scene of looking at the child, you know, even me when I still watch it, I still watch the scenes and I get emotional, you know, with the last because
Yeah.
it all comes back and it's so beautiful and the way I think it's very well done how they intertwine the flashbacks with when the Mandalorian is with the armor, you know, and the bangs of the hammer is what makes him remember all that. And then at the last episode when the flashback is like is a lot bigger and it sets a lot of because until that you don't really know what's going on, you know. And
Well, I have a question oh, sorry to interrupt. The other amazing thing about your, you know, last scene on that in episode 8 is all the Mandalorians that come and save your
That
son.
was cool.
So did you manage to get a photo with the Mandalorians?
we couldn't even have our phones with us.
Yeah, I'd
So
imagine. Okay.
It's lucky. Well, we had our phones, but only when we were waiting, you know, on the camps and all that, or on set with the catering. But we have to be very careful. I managed to take a couple of selfies hiding, which
Oh,
is-
I totally would do that. I would totally do that. I'd have to. You must.
I mean, I had to, come on. But I was so
Yeah.
careful. I mean, and only when the show came out is when I with that red, because
Yeah.
that red coat was so amazing. You know, I
Oh,
still like,
beautiful.
I just wanted to cut a little piece of it, you know. But even that, two of them I took them in my trailer, and then the other one when I was waiting for to go and eat one of the days. But like really like looking.
Yeah, you do
everywhere.
have to be very careful.
You have to be very careful.
Yeah.
So, but funny enough, one of them, this is something we spent a lot of time talking to John Wayne's grandson, the Mandalorian.
Wow.
People don't know that this is for geeks and for fans. The one that picks up the Mandalorian, that picks up my son during when he's a father, when they rescue him, is John Wayne's
Grandson?
Yes.
Wow, he did a great job.
He's called Dean Wayne or something like that. So and we found out there he's so humble. He's such a nice guy. And we found out there, it was like, oh, I'm sorry, can I touch you? Like you're John Wayne's
That is
grandson?
so cool.
And he was telling us stories about him, but he's so cool. He was so cool, and he's
Wow.
he's an actor. He's a stunt, and he's and he was dressed as the Mandalorian, So yeah.
I'm also so impressed that you got to work with, is it Taika?
Taika.
Yeah.
Waititi?
Yeah, the guy who wrote Jojo Rabbit. He is such an incredible talent as like everything. He's just
and at that
killing
time,
it now in Hollywood.
Yeah, he was already like known, but it wasn't like now the craziness, that and I'm so happy that Jojo Rabbit is a beautiful film.
So
it's
great,
amazing, and working with him was incredible. I have such amazing memories because he directed. There were different directors in the show. That there wasn't an order of the episodes. It's by scenes, So he directed our scenes, and then they were spread into other episodes. But that's why our scenes 1 and 2 in episode 1, episode 3, we were directed by those directors. That was the whole episode. They were just like, but and he's so funny, Taika. He's very funny. Yeah, he's very funny. He's always pulling faces and stuff, and he's got a very unique sense of a vision. How he wants things, and beautiful. He's very tall. Also.
He's tall. Wow.
Yes, he's very tall. Yeah.
I would never know that by his photos.
Yeah, he's very tall. He's very funny.
Bernard.
He's a great. Yeah.
I have a question actually, but if you can't answer it, just I don't want to get you into trouble. But I'm just going to ask you. Some people thought that The Mandalorian originally was made to be a movie. Is there any truth to that?
I have no idea. Honestly, I haven't. I never. I knew about the Mandalorians. About I'm a big Star Wars fan, but the bounty hunter that I always knew was Boba Fett. I actually still have the figurine somewhere there, but I never. That goes beyond my geekness. I don't.
Sure.
I had no idea.
I thought I heard in an interview someone saying that they thought The Mandalorian was going to be 5 seasons. Is that true? Do you know?
Well, it's done. It already. I mean, and this is something that I can say already. When we were filming, when we were on the one of the days, one of the girls, I think it was costumes. They knew already that they had at least 3 seasons.
That's so exciting.
And now with the success of the first one, yes, of course. Also because of the, I think they've done it very clever, and the format and everything, small episodes. People were complaining about it at first. Oh no, why aren't they 1 hour episodes or shut up? It's like it's better. I think because they make people like want to see more.
Yeah,
You know, you're
absolutely.
used to the 2 hours film. Shut up. It's 30 minutes. Cope with it.
Well, I'll say this. So I like the if you're going to do a good serialized show, I think Mandalorian showed that it can definitely be done. In that every week you were dying to see what was coming next week. But at the same time, like, what was it? Week 2 or week 3 was the 30-minute one where it was like a lot of people were like, "Come on, you got to give us more than 30 minutes." That's just cruel.
Yeah, you
That's
do.
just teasing.
I
too.
wanted it to be
Me
longer
too.
as well.
And
Yeah.
you know, because now you're also in Stargate. Fans are very demanding. I mean, wow. I mean, but I understand. I myself wanted to see more because there was some episodes that was like, but it's already gone. You know, baby
Yeah.
Yoda, don't go.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it's a very clever. They've done it really well, and I think it worked. It worked, and well, they just finished wrap season 2, and season 3, 4, and 5 will come. You know, so yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we're gonna get an entire series just based on Mandalorian's father, of course. We'll call it Mandalorian Origins. And
Oh wow, Taika, listen to this.
Yeah.
I tell you, because that could be really interesting. Because what was going, it looked like, I'm assuming that was going on like during the Clone Wars, based on the battle droids and all that. So that could actually be an interesting, So you should pitch that. You could.
I I have trust in the universe and in the Star Wars universe and in Disney and I think there's a lot of story there that I think there's a reason why they showed it in more than just one episode. And if it's not in season 2, but it will be in season 3, I mean, they are in advance for a lot of things, So I think there's a lot coming for a lot of side stories, And
Well, and I think
now
that-
that's on TV. Sorry, because it seems like Star Wars has finished in film. Well, I'm so sure about that. But a new big door has opened, and it's TV. So
Well,
Corona,
I think
Yeah.
Corona, you get out of it here, eh? Go.
I think that the Disney Plus streaming service has really opened up to, like, if you look at the quality of the Mandalorian, what looks like for those Marvel shows, they look like they're going to be phenomenal as well. And if Disney is really going all in with this, as it appears that they are, that could be a whole new, a whole new wave of entertainment like we haven't really expected to come from streaming services. Because, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking Netflix or Hulu or any of those guys, but Mandalorian is on a whole different level.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, when I first heard they're doing a Star Wars live action series, I'm like, oh, so it's going to be Star Wars-esque, but like you think about old TV shows when the budget, like the old Incredible Hulk show, where there'd be 5 minutes of Hulk in each episode because that's what the budget would allow, and so that's kind of what I was expecting with Mandalorian. And then you see this incredible character, Baby Yoda. You see these spaceships that look just as good as they looked in the films. You see all the, and the groundbreaking green screen tech that they were using when shooting and so. And it's like, wow, they really aren't messing around.
And you never see the face of the Mandalorian until, and that how they made that work, because I think that's the most original thing of all.
Well, I got to give credit to Pedro for being willing to put his ego aside enough to be under that mask through 99.9% of the series, and
he said it was hard to see as well in that mask.
Yeah. But very few actors are willing to do that. If you look at, like, there's him, there's,
and Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy loves to not show his gorgeous
Tom
face.
Hardy will do it. Carl Urban and Dredd. But it's very rare that an actor is willing to be hidden, and I understand it's not just the actor, it's also, your agent and everything else. No, we got to get their face out there because that's your brand. But Pedro has really
he has a very recognizable voice.
Yeah,
also.
that's the thing.
His voice is so sexy in that.
It's very recognizable, So Yeah.
And actually, it's kind of cool because underneath the mask, you don't know what he looks like, but you know you don't care. You just know that that guy is a badass with a heart of gold, and that's what
I think
you
I
know.
think also the work of the body language,
Hmm.
which was so important in this character, you know, because I remember seeing scenes. It's like just the move of his face, of his helmet, would be like, what the hell are you talking about? You know.
Well, I
For example.
wondered through that, if he had a body double, how much a
Oh
body
yeah,
double
yeah,
was really doing him or how much he
yeah.
was
No, but
actually doing
I
it.
mean, a lot of fans were like freaking out. Oh, but it's not him. Then no, 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 no. Come on, everyone relax. I mean, it was him during a lot of the period of the show,
Mm.
but also for a lot of scenes, he had a body double and a stunt, like in
Right.
any
Yeah,
other
And that's the
films,
rules of the
or
business. You got
shows.
to have a stunt
Yeah,
double and all that. I mean,
right.
that's
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, he was there 80% of the show. So that doesn't
Wow.
mean he wasn't there.
now.
So
Before you go, Bernard, I know you got to run, and I
yeah,
don't want you to run late for whatever you're doing.
it's
But
not that I have to go to any filming. It's
right,
You got to
just
take the dog out.
right,
now that I'm home here, I have other duties. Take the dog out,
right.
have
Oh, I
supper with
understand.
my
I understand.
mom. You
But
know.
but in all fairness, a good friend of mine, he put in a super chat earlier, and he just wanted to say hi to you guys, and that's Quantum Leaper. So if you could just say hi to Quantum Leaper, he's watching.
Hello.
Quantum, quantum what?
Quantum Leaper, like the old TV show Quantum Leap.
Oh, hi, Quantum Libra. This is Bernard Bullen. Did the Jaren spot from the Mandalorian, and
Oh, Simone Bailey. Hi, Quantum Leaper.
She
Sorry, I
forgot her
didn't
name.
know it was my
God, he
turn.
was still there.
I didn't know he was passing the mic. I'm sorry. Sleeping at the wheel over here.
So before we wrap up, any parting words of wisdom, any teases that you want to throw? What's come? I mean, I know everybody's on lockdown, so really nothing's happening. But anything you want to finish up with, my friends?
I just wanted to say that and I say from the very beginning, I'm blessed for being part. First of all, for doing what I do, for having the opportunity to people see our jobs, and now and for whatever we say, that people can listen to us. And if it's because you're in Stargate, or you're in the Mandalorian, or you're in any other job, and we're blessed about it. And it's a blessing that we are able to make people happy also, and take their minds out of all the craziness that's going on. For Spain now, it's very emotional for me, because the show is showing here, and I had so many messages of everyone saying thank you, and how
Yeah.
amazing it is. And now that everyone's on lockdown, just just be sensible, be nice, be kind, solidarity, and we're gonna beat this. I know, because I am the Mandalorian's father.
Yeah.
So we are going to, but we have to do it together. That's right.
Absolutely. And Simone, any parting words for us from the Stargate corner of the universe?
Not much, just same thing. Yeah, everyone stay safe, and if you are with loved ones, be happy, because I'm all by myself in quarantine,
Oh,
and it's sad. But no, I'm really thankful to all the fans and all of my friends and family watching. I do appreciate you reaching out, and and sending love
I just want to
everywhere.
say that thank you to all the fans of The Mandalorian, to all the fans from Betty, New York, also from the show at Different Telemundo, because they are, I don't know, the fans are what really are making us actors not crumble down, because we're very sensitive creatures,
Yeah.
and we need a lot of love, like
Fragile,
everyone else.
really.
But we're a bit weird. So if it wasn't for you guys and for all your messages around your love, it would be a lot harder. So thank you. And thank you for these streams, these live streams that give us life also a little bit.
absolutely. Well, you guys are always welcome to come back. I know, Simone, you and PJ do stuff together all the time, but you are, of course, always welcome on my channel as well.
Thank you.
PJ, Orville
Thank you so
Nation, I want to thank you for setting this up. I truly appreciate that. And everybody, if you aren't already, if you're not subscribed to Orville Nation, what is your problem? Go subscribe to Orville Nation. Bird of Prey, who kept talking the whole time. I know we couldn't get him to shut up, but Bird of Prey, thank you for hanging out with us. And
Thank you.
And you should also be subscribed to Bird of Prey.
Thank you. Goodbye, Bird of Prey. We haven't talked much.
No, I know.
Hello, goodbye.
Here's my dirty secret. I've not yet watched The Mandalorian.
Oh,
Okay, I'm not.
get yourself that free
Get-
week, my
Get
friend.
him out.
yourself
Get him
that
out of
free
the
week.
get him out of the live stream.
All right, so Bird of Prey is officially kicked. There we go. He's gone.
Oh,
Oh
in
no!
the dark.
No, Bernard's got the turn on him.
Bernard's got the-
Yeah.
All right, guys. So thank you again for hanging out with us. It was a genuine pleasure to have you guys on. Thank you,
Thank you.
and
Thank
take
you
care.
so much.
And
Thank you, all the nation, everyone. PJ, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Santi Trekker, for setting this up. Thank you, Bernard, Simone, and Bird of Prey. Thank you all. And,
Everyone, be safe. Take care of yourselves, please.
Hugs.
Hugs.
Kapla.
Yes.
and